So, Miles Morales is getting his own movie. It's going to be animated. This is according to Heroic Hollywood. We already knew that there was a Spider-Man film being made that was animated. And now we know it's Miles Morales. At least that's what Heroic Hollywood reports. That's great. I mean, I care, but I kind of don't. But I do, but I don't. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway. Now, Spider-Man games. The Spider-Man games have held a very, very important place in my heart because I love Spider-Man and I love video games. Put them together and what amazingness. There's a spider crawling on my window right now. Anywho, when it comes to the Spider-Man games, I love them. The Spider-Man 1 for the PS1, amazing. Enter Electro 2 for the PS1, amazing. Spider-Man 1 for the PS2 was hard. Spider-Man 2 was difficult. Spider-Man 3 was the Web of Shadows game was good. I went out of order because then it was Friend or Foe before that. Never played that one. Shattered Dimensions was Edge of Time, never played it. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was no. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was what the... Ultimate Spider-Man was amazing, by the way. But the Spider-Man games have held a very important place in my heart and in a lot of others' fans and gamers' heart in general because the Spider-Man games were a part of our growing up and a part of the gaming generations. So the Spider-Man games have weight. They have value in a gamer's heart. Telltale mentioned they're going to be working on Marvel games starting in 2017, which is the date in which the Spider-Man movie comes out. So, are they working on a Spider-Man movie? I don't know. I don't know. Then, Marvel said they're working on a number of qualitative games because they are already keen on wanting to be in the gaming sphere, but they want it to be of qualitative purposes, not of quantitative. They don't want to have a number of just games out. They want to have a number of good games. This may stem from the fact that the Arkham series, which in fact is the only DC characters game that is of the popularity and of that stature, Batman. So it could be from that franchise. Marvel's like, hey, we can get into the game industry as well, and we can do it good as well. So Marvel said that they're going to be doing that. They said that 2015 and said that next year they would be talking more about that. And next year is 2016. Which means we could possibly get more information on a good Marvel game. Spider-Man rumors began to circulate via Nerd Leaks. Nerd Leaks tweeted out, "It's been too long since last leak. Here's one. Sony is working at untitled Spider-Man PS4 project. Trailer incoming. E3 2016, question mark." And then things began to collaborate. Is that the corroborate? I don't know. More news began to come out. There's an actor, his name is Stephen O. Young, and he said on his resume that he was working on Untitled Spider-Man PS4 project, and it's by Sony. It's by Sony. And he's doing motion capture work. And then it became even clearer because on his Instagram, he was at Sony Studios. He was at the Sony Gaming Studios. It was on his Instagram. But now his Instagram is gone entirely. His Instagram is not up anymore. He took it down. Nerdleaks then tweeted some more stuff, trying hard to make it look like someone else took this pic. This is apparently what the Sony, what Steven said. I don't know. I'm not understanding that one right there. How does that connect with this Nerd Leaks? I don't know. Could you answer? Maybe. I don't understand. Oh well. We'll just keep it moving because that one I don't understand what you're talking about. But he says, who else takes selfies like someone else took it? Spidey/Peter Parker. I don't understand that tweet. So we're just gonna keep it moving. Then on his resume that originally had the Spider-Man Untitled PS4 project, his resume was then taken down. It was hidden. His Instagram was hidden, and people began to say, "Wait a minute." So Sony's making a PS4 exclusive for Spider-Man. who would make the game? Sucker Punch! That was my first thought too. I was like, Sucker Punch. Everybody was like, Sucker Punch is doing it because Sucker Punch would make an excellent Spider-Man game because of their track record. Look at the infamous games. Look at all of it. Spider-Man, it just speaks Spider-Man. It would be amazing. It would be, do it. Let's do it. So, research began to happen and began to take place. Sucker Punch was hiring. Sucker Punch was getting ready to make a game. People were like, oh my gosh, they're making Spider-Man because they're getting ready to make a game. It's a gaming studio. I would hope they're getting ready to make a game. That doesn't necessarily mean they're making Spider-Man. But if we look into the listings in which they were looking for people to hire, maybe that'll help. Spoiler, it didn't, because they're looking for like-minded and creative individuals, people that are of a high caliber to make their game, their next game, of high caliber. They said that they want to have jaw-dropping graphics. They said that they want to have amazing character models. They said that they want to have amazing texture. And they were looking for unique clothing lines for compelling characters. In this, they do use the word marvelous, and they say that they want help to design unique clothing lines to help create compelling, believable characters. The word marvelous again. So this could be, you could say, hey, this is for Spider-Man's costume, but I mean, I don't know. This is the marvelous designer thing is what gets me. It's the one thing that gets me. But they're looking for a pattern maker, which is interesting. That doesn't necessarily mean that this is for a Spider-Man game. That just means that they want to have a good-looking next game. They also were looking for people to make an innovative combat system, which, again, doesn't necessarily mean that they're working on a new Spider-Man game. If they were to make the Spider-Man game, I would be excited. I would be happy. I would want it. I would play it. I would. But, in all honesty, where's the evidence? Then Billy Harper tweeted on Twitter and put this on Instagram as well. Civil War for a second time with this guy. Cause ... reasons. And then he put a picture of his son, I'm assuming. But Billy Harper, if you didn't know, he works for Sucker Punch. And he says he was seeing Civil War again for reasons. Not to see it with his possibly son, but because he's making a game in which Spider-Man is the main character. And Spider-Man is in Civil War. And they want to see the character, a design of Spider-Man in the Civil War film. So he went to see the movie again.
That's why Spider-Man Sucker Punch confirmed 2017 release, because 2016 is too early.
Because Activision still has the rights to the game. So, if Activision still has the rights, then how could Sony be making this game? Venom, you didn't crush my spirits, man. You didn't crush my spirits, man, because Sony was supposed to have this game, and you said Activision got the rights still. Why, man? Why can't I ever have nothing, man? Why? Why you always taking stuff from me? Calm down, okay, first, because the Spider-Man IP, yeah, the rights, they're with Activision. They've been with Activision for quite some time, and they're going to be there until 2017. So, that would mean that at the year 2017, the rights are expired, which means they're up for grabs. Anybody can take them. So, this could still possibly be happening. Or maybe not, because it may infringe on the rights to make this game now or for the past 2 years. 2 years ago was in which the Sucker Punch released their last game, Infamous Second Son. So it could infringe upon the rights for them to begin creating this game whilst Activision has the rights without Activision's permission. Think about it like this. You have a cookie. Tomorrow or next year, whatever, this cookie isn't yours anymore. You have to give it back. Or whatever. It's not yours. Or you rent a game from Blockbuster. Or do you know what Blockbuster is? I give you a game, you give it back to me in a week, alright? Somebody else wants to take the game from you. They can't take the game from you because it's not theirs. It's yours for the week. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying now? So that could infringe upon the rights if Sony was to begin making this game. That would potentially have legal ramifications. It could, unless a deal was made by Activision and Sony to maybe co-share the profits. But would Activision do this? The money-hungry Activision people that create the Call of Duty franchise and the Call of Duty series, would they do this? In my humble and honest opinion, hell no. Maybe they might. What if Sony's people were making the game, Sony publishes it, but Activision gets a cut of the money without even doing anything? That could possibly be something. But with that being said, would this game be exclusive to the PlayStation platform? Activision is money hungry, meaning where the money is where they go. So, wouldn't they want this game to have a much more wide appeal? Get all of the gamers. Everybody. I'm talking about getting the PS people. I'm talking about getting the Xbox people, and I'm talking about getting the PC people. Activision would want that too, wouldn't they? Right? Sony would have to cut them a check for that to happen. Would Sony cut that check? How could Sony cut that check? Because they ain't got no money. No, they do have money. But they are not as financially able as, say, the other guy, Microsoft. Would Sony realistically and legitimately cut that check? Write that check for us. Say, you know what, here you go. Give us that Spider-Man goodness. In my honest opinion, I think Sony would. I think they would. Can they? I have no idea. I'm not all into their finances. I don't work for them. But I think they could do it. Do I think they would? Think about it like this. If I was creating a game and I already was losing, this is to say this story is true, meaning Sony is producing this game. That would mean there would be a deal that was made with Activision. Right. So, two ways. I'm going to first say the first one. If I make this game, I produce this game, if I gotta cut a chunk of my profits out to give to Activision, then I gotta cut another part of my profits out. So this game could be only on my system. That's losing some money. And I don't want to lose money. In comparison to cutting out the profits to give to Activision and then having the rest of the profits go to the game, the sales of the game. Meaning, over here is the PlayStation sales, over here is the Xbox sales, and over here is the PC sales. Then there's the second one. Cut the profits to get to Activision. Then I cut the profits. That way I get the profits from this game going to PC and PlayStation. But with the news that Microsoft is changing the Xbox brand and the Windows brand, meaning combining the two, in which I'll have another video talking about that and how this could potentially hurt Sony with Microsoft, basically having this, not monopoly because it's their system, them combining the Xbox and Windows platform together. This game could still potentially end up on the Xbox brand because of that. But that's another video. Anyway, I would make money that way with the PC and PlayStation. But why not just put the game on everything? That way I can make the most amount of money I could possibly make. I understand Sony is definitely winning. They are beating the mess. I'm talking about beating the brakes off of Microsoft. The Xbox One is not going to win this generation. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not. Sony won. And I know they are like, woo, we won. But with that being said, money is money. The Sony exclusives are exclusive because they're first party. And they may have some deals, but they're first party. Meaning that they don't have to cut money to give to this other rights holder and then cut more money because they ain't putting it on this platform. They just gotta make the game, pay for the game, publish it, and they make their money. It ain't no setting aside of profits for somebody else. So with that being said, would this game be exclusive if this was even happening, if this is happening, if a deal has been made with Activision in which Sony can produce this game how they want, and all they need to do is just give Activision some kickbacks. And we know Sony has a good relationship with Activision because they're doing this marketing deal for Call of Duty. Perhaps that could even come into play as well. They're doing a marketing deal for Call of Duty. Would Sony actually make this game exclusive? They're not in the same financial realm as Microsoft. They don't have as much money. Sony's practically staying afloat as an entire company because of the PlayStation brand. The technological side of Sony, sure it's there, but it's not as well and as prominent as it was years ago. So would Sony make this game exclusive to their platform? I'm not a bet man, but I wouldn't bet on it. Maybe PC and PlayStation? Again, I'm not a betting man, and those odds are higher. I just wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't. I feel like they're losing a lot of money. Money that they could potentially make. And sure, the PC realm opens up the door to more money. But they could make even more money with this game being produced on all the platforms. Except for Nintendo, because bump that. So, my honest opinion is that if this is happening, that it's not an exclusive. And that the reason why it's PS4 project, if this is even a game, is because Sony are producing it. And this is because Sony has done a deal with Activision. And that could potentially mean that there will be exclusive content for the PlayStation platform. But, in my honest opinion, I don't think that this game is going to be a PlayStation exclusive. Only because of the variables that is doing a deal with Activision. And we haven't even mentioned the fact if Sony outright bought the rights from Activision to produce this game. On top of their other marketing deal with Activision, unless this deal was done at the same time. I don't know. In my honest opinion, I think it's real slim. I think it's possible, but I think it's real slim. I think we just gotta wait to E3 and find out. Because, whoa, that's crazy. It's crazy, that's nuts. If I was Sony, I don't even think I would do it. If I was Microsoft, maybe. Because Microsoft got a little bit more money. But even if I was Microsoft, that's a risky deal. It's a risky deal. I would rather produce a game in which I could make the most amount of money I could possibly make. So I don't know what y'all think. I want to have this conversation in the comment section below. As always, I'm to me and saying hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned to my videos. I got the E3 videos coming out talking about Microsoft and how they could potentially devastate Sony. This is pretty crazy what they could possibly do and what they're looking like they may be inching to do. And if they did this, I don't know what would happen in terms of the landscape of gaming. It would be weird. It would be crazy. But yeah, and I got my E3 videos coming up and more Spider-Man videos coming up. And yeah, so I want to have a conversation in the comment section below. Do you think that Sony's creating a game that will not be on the Microsoft platform? That will not be on the Xbox? They're creating a Spider-Man game. Do you think that they're doing this? I want to have a conversation in the comment section below about this. As always, thank you guys for watching. Have it to me and saying like, subscribe if you're new, and peace. Have a good one. Peace.
Then up to 1 million.